Thank you for joining us today to learn about Ogre Systems R3 Visual Analytics software program. In less than a minute, we will commence our live presentation. As an introduction, our Visual Analytics program utilizes reserves and economics outputs like EUR, NPV, ROR, and ROI, along with other internal and/or external formats like spreadsheets, shapefiles, and vendor data types in our spatial data engine, powered by Tableau. Our spatial data engine allows you to analyze both the data and calculated results through interactive maps, charts, graphs, and tables to rapidly gain a deeper and better understanding to help make more well-informed business decisions and predictions. To accomplish this, we have pre-built worksheets, dashboards, and storyboards. Based on information you would like to analyze, we can modify or build the worksheets, dashboards, and storyboards. Now, our presentation.
Thank you. So we have a 5 dashboard, pre-built dashboard. So this is like basically a layout. So whenever the user, let's say, hook up with their database in West Permian, on Eagle Ford, in like Rocky Mountains, so only things they need to do is push the data from their economic solutions, Aries, PhDWin, or R3, let's say ValNav, and we can do a data mapping, and then we can map to our like a syntax, and then you can consume the pre-built, like we call the storyboard, or let's say the dashboard. So today I will quickly go through 5 of them, and let's go to the first one, which is the mapping storyboard, okay? And for here, and you can see we have a multi-layer enabled map right here, and it's in West Texas. And we can see like a different horizontal wells with this layout, and then we can zoom. And we have a hover like actions. So when you move your mouse cursor over wells, and you can see, so it's a reference data. So who they are, what's their operator names. This one is not. And we can have the EUR and NPV. So this is the information like directly from the reserve solutions, okay? You fit the curve, you run your economics, and you can consume that data with the mapping like informations right here. And so I have multi-layers, and you can see the very background. So I have a geology map. And on the second layer, I have my lease information, the lease boundaries. And on the very top, I have my wells information. So what is orientation? What is their lateral length in different directions? So that's the information that I can have. So if I want to have like a detailed information, so if you think the color is a little bit busy, and let's go into that. And we can go to the horizontal wells right here, okay? And we can easily filter out some like a busy information. For example, we don't want to see the geologic units on the background, and we can easily filter that out, okay? And similarly to the lease informations. And now I want to see, okay, I want to quickly identify what is my PDP wells are. So quickly I can use like a color as one, like let's say parameters. So I can quickly search. I want to see my reserve category, recap. I can easily drag and drop into the color. And I can see my PDP wells, where they are, where my PUD wells, PUD wells, shut-in wells is pretty quickly. So I can do these things by myself within clicks, drag and drop. Okay, let's go back to the map board. So like we understand like we need to do look back analysis and so from time to time. So for example, this is one features we can carry. So we have like a development tracking methodologies. So we're using your either spot date or completion dates to do a look back analysis to understand when and where you drill the most of the wells, and in like GIS information in different county, and you can have a better understanding. So let's make it a little bit quick. So this is something we're looking at like a path, but we can do in another like directions. We can plan something in the future. For example, we want to plan some of your PUD wells. You need to understand where R days, what's the well spacing, and what's the like a production profile. Let's say the type well curve you want to assign to them. So what's the estimated like present words at 10 or 8? So this is something you can definitely put onto our dashboard and to make your workflow to serve you better. Okay, let's go to the next one. So if you do have any questions, please let me know, okay? We can have discussions. So for here is, once again, we're using color to identify different like well status, like your shut-in, abandoned, etc., etc. No big deal. And by reserve category. And the next part is like when we like talking with the banks, so they want to deal with the uncertainties and the risks, and they categorize by themselves in banks. So they will say, okay, you're seasoned well, you're not, you're unseasoned wells, and they set up the threshold by different months. They want to lower the uncertainties. So we help them to categorize that part, and we make it interactive. Okay, so by definition from one bank in like Houston, so the season and unseasoned well threshold is 12 months. But they ask us, so in their what if analysis, what if I can change my like threshold to 18 months? So I want to see where are the wells they are unseasoned, where are the wells seasoned, okay? So they can quickly understanding by like interact with the threshold you set up in the visual analytics. But now you are only not playing with your numbers, and you're actually playing with your data. So the next ones, we change like the background map to a satellite map. And so that's no big deal. And for here, so we have a user specified, let's say an equation. Let's say this is their secret recipe, how to cook the crawfish, okay? They call it a concentration factor. The concentration factor, and they ask us, they give us the equation, how to calculate in Excel, and we duplicate and get it done in R3 Visual Analytics. And we can use this interactive slider bar to quickly understanding, so where are the concentrated wells? And you can play with the factors to do it. So for here, it's not showing the visual things, it's to show you we have the capability to edit some of the existing parameters, and we can have a second development on top of that. It's more like Excel, and you can calculate whatever you want and to present on the map or on some other tables as well. The next one is like the combo EUR combo maps. So the top row is about your the EUR from the oil phase, and this is from the gas phase. And you can quickly identify. So for the oil phase, I personally more like the southeast corners. It's right here. For the gas phase, it's northeastern part. It will quickly give you an insight to give you to identify the area of interest, which area you want to go. So if you are investors, so if you want to purchase the neighbor lease, where would you like to go? So different things, different parameters can help you to get a better understanding, then help you to render better decisions. So you can do different things, lassos, and you can move that in. So that's pretty easy. And if you want to change the variables, so this is a EUR, it's about the volumes. But if you want to change to a cash flow, discounted cash flow, present words, it's just like drag and drop to drag the calculated fields into the map. Is that easy? Okay, so that's pretty much in our pre-built dashboard, but we can definitely customize the needs and like into our dashboard from mapping perspective. Another dashboard we provided, we call it the type well curve, the storyboard. So basically we want to help the users. You only need your historical production data, and we can help you to quickly understanding, so what's the trend line from P10, P50, and P90, okay? So this is something we're going to do. And we're doing that from the very beginning as we are doing some normalizations. So for here, so you can see I have West Texas 470 wells from 8 different operators. And you can see different color represents for different operator. They all start from the different years. And I can have my oil phase right here, and I can have my gas phase right here, okay? So this is something before the normalizations, but I want to do, before I do the normalizations, I have many ways to do so. I can normalize by the first production data, and I can normalize by the peak rate. And within one click, and the user could like get the normalized information. Okay, all 470 wells right here. So you are normalized by the very first productions, okay? And you can easily filter out some of the operators, and you can see some dynamic changes. Okay, switch the next gear is normalized by the peak rate. So I can see all of them by the different peak rate and choose any one of them is decreasing. So this is our like a peak rate. But we want to separate, and you can see, so this is all the wells right here. This is well numbers. I can see this well actually is doing a pretty good job, and it's got some like weird things right here. And I really should put these things as a peak rate right here. So I need to conduct like a more advanced options for the user. So I can normalize to the peak rate in the very first, like let's say 3 months, 6 months, or 9 months. So if I change this, so every single well will identify the peak rate in the very first 9 months. And I can do this, 3, and I can do 6. So this is something that's already done in R3, and people only need to refresh their database, hook up with R3 VA, and they can consume that. So this is from the time domain. And we can do something from, let's say, a different like a domain, which is a lateral length. So here's one quick examples. I have 2 wells right here. This one have a lateral length around 6,000 feet, and this one's 2,700 feet. And I believe I'm like a young engineer, I understanding, okay, maybe their first 5 months decline trend is almost the same, but their like QI is quite different. So, but I understand, and they have a difference in the lateral length. I want to see per 100 feet, what about their capability to producing the liquid, okay? So I use a calculated field to see, okay, per 100 feet, normalized to a lateral length, so the QI is almost the same, even though they have some like a difference right here, but I would say it has some similarity. The good part is people like going, they want to understanding, so what's the capability of like the similar wells and they can do, and then you can better group them together, have a better group, and then you can have a better like type wells. So here is, so you can have like, you know, P10 percentile, P10, P15, P90 trend lines right here, only to give people a quick understanding. So from different operators, for example, I want to have the EUG and the CUGs together with Energen, and I can see corresponding changes right here. Okay, P10, P90, P50s, and you can take out some like outliers and noise, that's for sure. Sometimes people are arguing, so okay, what is my like average versus my P50s by different operators, and you can see different operators P50s, or like every like operators like average, so you can do that. And the fancy part is average versus your P50s, and once again you can choose your parameters. So for here is like when you want to have all like 470 wells, you want to have a quick fit. And we do understand, so there's like a time slide. This is a time slice method, but only for a quick fit. And we have a more, you know, industry adopted like aggregation method to construct the type well to be more precise and more reasonable and reliable. But for here is, we call it a quick and dirty way to see, okay, what is your type wells using the time slice method, okay? And you can choose so the different phases. I would choose the gas phase, and the purple line actually is my ARPS fit. So I would say, okay, the QI is a little bit different. I will need to adjust it, maybe 25,000 here, and I can change my B factor and try to fit a little bit higher and lower right here. Change my DI and try to get a better shape. So voila, so this is my quick and dirty outcome about my type well curve to fit on my operators, all 8 operators like curves right here. Okay, so this is about our type well curve. And once again, during the production phase, and like the engineer, the managers, the product managers, they want to understanding better about their decline curve analysis. Okay, so we have a map on the right-hand side as a filter. So I can quickly filter the map, and I can have a corresponding like a DCA result. The upper one is an individual view, and the lower one is the aggregated views. So I have about like 5-ish wells right here, and you can see by individual view what's the like the historical data, and what is my fit, maybe a little bit higher, And by the way, we can put multiple scenarios right here. So your scenario versus your client scenarios, 2020 scenario versus 2021 year-end scenarios. You can have it to plot it right here as you wish. And this is aggregation views, aggregate historical part, and a forecast part. So once again, we're using the map as a filter, and you can do vice versa. Okay, so we need to have some basic quick understanding about like the leases or about the assets we're going to have. Okay, for example, I can have some like a bin dashboard. So for example, this is about a dashboard about your literal length, and I can quickly have that sense, okay, most of the wells from like a normal distribution, so their literal length is about 35 to 45, like 100 feet right here. So if I don't want to get that level of detail, and I can quickly understanding this, okay? I change the bin size, most of wells, they're right here, okay? And I want to know when most of the wells has been drilled. I know around 2011, 2012, 2013, before the oil and gas price crash, most of well has been drilled. They have the sweet spot, they can make more money. And once again, so different operators. So who are the big players in my assets right there? So Anadarko and Energen, and where are they? Once again, like a cross-reference to the map. So after like a month's productions, we want to know, so what's your peak rate production? And we'll want to know that distributions. So once again, the left-hand side is for the gas, and this is for the oil. And then you can have different way. You can have a cumulative distribution or a percentile. So you can go either of one, and you have a smaller bin size here. Once again, you can change that. If I change the bin size, and I can quickly understand, okay, most of the wells, they're like a peak rate for gas is around here, and that's for my oil. Again, 30, 60, 90, 180s, if people use that and they can quickly do it, you have gas, oil, and this is your gas oil ratio, and this is all the wells you cross here. It's our layout. If you have your own specific preference, preferred layout, we can definitely help you to do so. Your rate versus your average, your peak rate versus your average, and then we can plot it. And we introduced that one, the multi like asset decline curve analysis. And here is a little bit interesting, is per one client's request, they want to have a secret recipe they call half-life analysis. So basically, it's all the cash flow you have produced. So this is the cash flow as of today. So you have produced, for example, maybe this is 2019, and divided by the total cash flow you might have under that circumstance. And so you can divide, and this is your half-life. And you can have like one wells individual view, and then you can see what if I have that 4 wells together. So what is my half-life looks like? I want my half-life right here instead of here. So I want to have more money. So this is what we can do about a decline curve analysis combined with the economics outcome. So I can have like a quick analysis. Okay. So this is we do for the bank loan. So we're more acting from the bank perspective. So this is about reserve-based loaning. Okay. So when we talk about reserve-based loaning, so we have different reserve category. That's very important. Most of them like will only give the loan 60% on your PDP values, 25% on pods, but they will internally perform a what-if analysis. They will create a portfolio, try to maximize their profit and lower their risk. So this is from the bank perspective. And once again, we're introducing you so different like concentration factors and playing with different like PDP assets. So this is something definitely you can play with. And so once again, I want to keep only all my concentration wells, and I can have my quick like a single line reports right here. And I can know, so this well, so they contribute the most of their cash flow. And so I can create like a loan value based on the cash flow you created, and I can apply for an advance rate or try to do. So if you're a PDP, I want to have your as a 60s. So, but what if I want to grant your money and try to see so how much I can get from a bank perspective? So this is definitely something we can do, and we can take consideration about your hedging. So there's something else we can play with for sure. one thing very important is they call like the base versus the roll forward analysis. By the time you apply for the loan, so the as of date is, let's say, is January the 1st. And by the time we will grant you the loan is July the 1st. So we need to understand in by the half years, so the price have changed, your reserve number has changed. So what is my, base versus my roll forward? And by adding different like what if analysis, so what is my cash flow? What is my loan well looks like? This is something can be done inside R3 VA. And once again, we have all the data calculated in economic solutions. So we can put that part, and you can put your other resources of your data, merge them together, and to finish your workflow. So once again, this is about your loan dashboard, or let's say you can call reserve-based loan dashboard. Okay, so the next one, or the last one, is we call the economic evaluation storyboard. And we understand in the most traditional way, people have the static paper-based report, PDF, Excel, etc. But to me, that's a number. So I'm not a number person, I'm a visual person. So I want to see more to have a better insight about my data, not my numbers, okay? And for here is, I'm about to plan some like pots wells right here. I want to see, okay, how like the wells are going to be planned. So what's their well spacing? I can have a quick understanding right here. And I have like an interactive stack bar chart cash flow analysis. I have these two wells right here. And this is their cash flow contributed to the, let's say, a unit. So, and I also have like a unit cash flow warning limit at like $1 million right here. And it's about deep down in year 2021. That is means either I have to do refrac or I have to drill some new wells to maintain above these warning lines right here. So that's the reason why I have 4 my pots wells right here. And I can quick and understanding, okay, how much will each well contribute to this cash flow chart? And where are they? So this is 4 wells right here, but the pots well. And where do I get my pots well production profile? It's inside R3, it's inside your Aries or Pitch to Win, and you can transport that into VA and we can visualize them. Okay, so what if you want to see, okay, so this is yearly, can you drill down? Yes, I can. I can drill to different quarter, and I can, if you need, we can drill down to different months. So it's a level of flexibilities to empower the user to play what if analysis or create a specific workflow to fit your current workflow. So once again, so this is a very quick, like 30 minutes presentation, live demo about our latest product, R3 Visual Analytics. Things have changed. And so the people are not only satisfied with the number, they want to turn the numbers into data. They want to interpret the data into a story to bring reasonable certainties. And as here is a tool, and it has the flexibilities, and we need to understand what the clients needs to convert, using that tool to convert the numbers into data. And in the meantime, by connecting the dots to bring a value. So that's our value proposition of providing this technology.
Ogre Systems' R3 Economics product calculates reserves and economics KPIs like EUR, NPV, ROR, ROI, etc. for oil and gas wells. To estimate the production, interactive log semi-log DCA is run. To calculate the economics, one or more forecasted production decline curves can be applied along with economic factors such as commodity pricing, operating and capital costs, economic interests, and tax liabilities. Economic factors can also be varied when running economic models to produce an array of model outcomes. We can apply or modify and apply economic models that we have developed for fiscal regimes around the world. Please visit our website to learn about all of our R3 products.